Hey guys, Jake Hendrickson here with another whitetail habitat video. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. Every subscription counts. And if you like the content today, hit that like button. But yeah, let's dive right into it. In today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to make a deer trail, a steering tunnel, sidewalk, travel corridor. There's lots of different names for this depending on who you talk to. Essentially, it's a deer path. It's the trail that the deer are going to use to go from point A to point B. In this case, bedding to food. Behind the camera, we have a food plot, and this is an area that the deer use to stage in kind of before going out into the food plot, and they bed kind of back in there. So what we're going to be doing here is enhancing one of the trails, kind of discouraging other trails to promote use on just one trail. I don't know if you can see it right now, but there is already a deer trail kind of starting at the camera, kind of going this way, moving past the habitat hook and back towards bedding. But there's also several other trails in the area too. So what we're going to be doing here is just enhancing this one. And when we make these deer paths, there's essentially two types that we make. One is a little bigger than the other one. The larger one is more like an ATV trail, a logging road, maybe something like you'd walk in a state park if you like, walk trails, hiking paths, something like that's a little bit bigger. This one's gonna be a little bit more subtle. I don't want to make this one any more than 3 feet wide. This one's gonna be pretty easy to make. And to do this type of work, you don't really need a whole lot of equipment. What we're going to be using is a handsaw for these saplings and some of the multiflora rows. We're going to be using a chainsaw to drop some of the larger trees. We're going to hinge them away from the trail, perpendicular to the trail. And guys, whenever you're doing chainsaw work, please, safety first. Use all the safety equipment, whether it's chaps, use your helmet, make sure you have eyewear on, glasses. It's not worth hurting yourself. These trees come down very fast. Gravity always wins. And if you're not comfortable using or doing the work yourself, just have someone else do it, hire it out. But yeah, if you are going to do it yourself, safety first. That way, it's not worth getting hurt over. But yeah, so a chainsaw, handsaw. I'm going to be using the habitat hook to push the trees over if they are hung up. But yeah, we don't really need a whole lot of equipment. And once this is done in the summer, I'm going to rake the leaves off the trail. So a rake or a backpack blower. And then if you want to, if you're comfortable using chemicals, a backpack sprayer with Roundup or glyphosate, same thing. And to kind of give you guys an idea of how this is set up, our property is a rectangle running north and south. And this is on one of the sides of our property, so I can actually see the property border right there. This trail is going to run parallel to our property border. What that's going to do is it's going to give us an easy way to get out, to be on the side of our property, walk the edge of the property line, come into a bow stand, and be able to shoot into this trail without ever coming into it. We never have to cross this path. So from our stand or from this trail, everything on this side, unless we shoot something, should never be bothered by a hunter. So these deer should never be bothered. And so that will be another reason that they're going to feel comfortable using this. So how we ended up coming to this location for our deer trail was very easy. When we're doing these habitat improvements, whether it's bedding areas or these deer trails, we're not really trying to recreate the wheel here. We're letting the deer tell us what they want to do on their own. And so there's lots of trails throughout this area. There's kind of a main trail right here. And what we're going to do is take this main trail and we're going to enhance it, and we're going to discourage the use of those other trails to hopefully encourage more use on this one. And so really what we're going to be doing is we're going to follow this trail all the way down, cut the saplings off, make sure that we have about a 3 foot wide path all the way down. And every once in a while, when there's a tree that we're comfortable hinging, what we're going to do is we're going to hinge it perpendicular to this path. And what that's going to do is it's going to discourage the use of those other trails, because there's other trails that are running parallel to this one, but if those trees are in the way, the deer are most likely not going to use them. I'm not going to say they're never going to use them and not jump over these trees, but it's not as likely. They're more likely to use this one because deer are pretty lazy and they take the path of least resistance most of the time. So if you can create a path going through a thicker area and you can discourage use of the rest of the area, they're most likely going to use this. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend hinging every single tree all the way down, because what that's going to do is that's going to make the deer feel claustrophobic, and when they go down this trail, they could feel like they don't have any way out. And so if they're walking down the trail and there's a predator, or they feel threatened and they want to get out, they want to have multiple ways off this trail. And if they don't have that, they might not use it altogether. So that's why we're not hinging every tree. We're just hinging a tree every once in a while just to kind of discourage the use of those other trails and to promote the use of this one. There are a couple things that you can do to really enhance this path, and that would be mock scrapes and water holes. So depending on how long this trail is, you could have one or you could have several mock scrapes. I wouldn't put them necessarily one right on top of each other, but if you got a mock scrape here and you went another 100 yards and put a mock scrape, you know, that's not going to hurt anything. But what that's going to do is that's going to increase the use of this trail. The more you can put on this one path and not the other paths, the more use you're going to get out of this one. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. Hopefully it makes sense. If you do have any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I can. And if you did like the content for today, please subscribe, hit the like button, and get out there and start making your own improvements.